Welcome back to another video. So the question of the day is, should you build a homemade camper? The answer's kind of complicated, to be honest with you. If you're looking to save money, maybe not. If that's the only thing you're interested in is saving some money, then it may not be in your best interest to build a homemade camper. Because if you go onto Facebook Marketplace and you look at used campers, you could probably find something real similar to what you have in mind at a decent price. And to give that kind of some perspective, this camper cost me about $4,000 to build, and I used salvaged parts and stuff from Facebook Marketplace used. Like this trailer was like 500 bucks. The door over there was $100, or maybe it was 150, I think. Something, I mean, it was not very expensive. So it's real easy to spend a lot of money building a homemade camper. If your expectation is that you're going to come into it and save a bunch of money, it's just probably not going to happen. Another thing to keep in mind is time. So this camper took me a year to build. If you're a procrastinator, if you're someone who gets a lot of projects going at one time and rarely finishes them unless they're like point blank, get it done type stuff, it may not be something that you're going to get done in a hurry. Well, it's not. You're not going to get it done definitely in a few weekends. This is something that takes, for me anyways, it took a year to get this done. So that's something to keep in mind. It's going to be sitting in your garage. It's going to be sitting over on the side with a tarp over it. You might lose interest. There's going to be other things that's going to come up. And, it kind of prolongs your camping experience. If you're looking to get out and spend time with your family, you have to consider that. And, if you know that you're disciplined enough to get it done, then absolutely go for it in that regards. Another thing to consider whenever you're building a camper like this is if you're planning to build the trailer, or if you're planning to buy a trailer, when you put a box on top of this thing, there's a tongue to axle ratio that you want to maintain so that you can pull it safely. You need the camper to be able to trail well. The other thing too is when you start stacking all this lumber onto this trailer and doing your build, it's really easy to kind of run away with your weight and exceed your axle weight. It's very easy to do that. Even if you're trying to be conscientious of it and build lightly, it's real easy to go overweight. So that's something that you have to really consider. The other thing too is you're going to be pulling this thing down the road with your family in the vehicle, with someone else's family in the car coming in the other direction or behind you, whatever. So, it's real important to be responsible with that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, but just, be mindful and be thoughtful of other people. Probably the last thing that I want to talk about is when you build your own camper, every bolt, every board inside of it. And for me personally, that creates a little bit of anxiety. So whenever I'm pulling this down the road, I know I did my best building it, but I always wonder, man, did I put enough fasteners here or something like that? There's always this little, in the back of your mind, fear, for me anyways. I'm always one of these people that can visualize what bad can happen. And so even though I've pulled this to Tennessee, several hundred miles, it's still, every single time I pull this thing, I get this little behind the ear voice that says, what about this? What if this happens? What if that? So it is an added stress to a certain mindset. If you're a certain type of person, it's always going to kind of haunt the back of your mind slightly. But, that's something to really think about, because if you're that type of person and you want to build a camper, likely you're going to second guess your structure once you've got it done. So just keep that in mind. If you're not that type of person, then That's awesome, because I'm not that type of person. But anyways, that's just some stuff to think about before you get started if you're going to build it. Now, the plus side is I can tell you that building a camper to completion, pulling it, your family all staying in it for the weekend or for the week, whatever, there's really nothing more satisfying. It is one of the most satisfying feelings to go through and design something, build it from the ground up, and it actually worked the way that you intended it to. It's a pretty awesome feeling. So also, there's something else that comes along with building a camper. It's the community. There's a community of home-built camper type people. And these are some of the most interesting people you'll ever meet. Very artistic. You'll end up in a group, probably meeting with them, doing a potluck or something like that. And these are the type of people that will give you the shirt off their backs. They are just the most awesome people. So I highly recommend building a camper if you can get past those points. You know, if you're not looking to build it to save money only, because I think you can save money, but you have to be very thrifty. You know, if you got the mindset that you can, or confidence, I guess is a better way to say it. If you've got the confidence to do it, and if you enjoy the adventure, go for it. So, but just keep those things in mind. Other than that, I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you for checking out the channel. Definitely subscribe if you're into campers. Also, I do mountain bike stuff, a lot of repairs and upgrades there, really kind of tying the two together. I plan to go out here to Tennessee this next weekend. I'll be filming that and we'll be posting that. That'll be pretty cool. It's camping on the porch with the DIY camper group. So lots of cool people there, as I mentioned before. So that's it. I appreciate y'all watching.